welcome back to Bronze League Heroes in the bottom left of Automaton. So a blast from the slight past, it is a Yoda. And in the top right, IamNegan. Terran versus Terran. Again. Alright. So, Automaton. Now, whoever submitted this, and we can take our guesses. When it was submitted, this map was already months, possibly years old. So, they went through their backlog. Like, either this replay was the last game they played, or they had it saved in some sort of fancy folder, or whatever people do with their technologies. But they went back for quite a time, because it was submitted near the end of 2019. We're going to have a pause. Alright. Now, since we're rewatching history, we don't have to wait for that pause, but... What a nice... Like, they're being so nice to each other. But, like, I'm surprised. Like, I don't even think this is Bronze League. I don't know yet. Well, they can still prove themselves. They are walling up, but... While they are polite, nobody has asked how the other's day is going and legitimately cares about the answer. Neither of them are using perfectly correct, like essay-level punctuation. Like, this is just, very simply, so far, not really impressed. And by impressed, I mean the opposite when it comes to Bronze League Heroes. Of course. Both going for a command center? What am I watching? Whoever, Anthony X was the one who judged this worthy. Anthony, right now. And thank you to everyone who judges these replays. They oftentimes do a great job. But if this is on YouTube right now, I'll be honest, like, these guys look like they have an idea of what they're doing. These are TVT builds that aren't perfect. No matter what meta we're in, but they look good. They look solid. So, well, unfortunately, Yoda is... Well, we lost him for a sec there. The Reaper just kind of dies. Solid revenge for the slaying of the SCV as it was building, but he will spot a command center, which means Negan will know. An engineering bay, okay. Now we're getting a little bit better, but not a particularly early engineering bay. These builds are so standard and boring. I almost want to speed it up, but I need to experience, like, if you speed it up, you don't get to experience, okay, that's a scan, but not even a counter scan. Negan, what are you doing? Everybody knows when you get scanned, the only possible response is a counter scan. Meanwhile, oh, well, here we go. It appears Yoda has not had the foresight to realize that his natural is over here. But maybe he's just establishing a forward position in order to maintain it at a later time. I'm sure that's what's happening here. 100%. +1 infantry weapons for Negan. A Cyclone is done. Like, now this is an optimistic attack. There are 5 Marines on the way across. There are 6 Marines at individual guard posts waiting for a Widow Mine to open up the defense. The Widow Mine will smack into the Marines and they'll all be gunned down with no losses. A complete and utter devastation of the few forces that were involved. Yoda did not see that one coming. A Cyclone is trying to micro around. Yoda is really relying on this Cyclone to do pretty much everything. He's building more Cyclones. He has, well, everyone knows, there are only the top 2 units in Bronze League Heroes. A Planetary Fortress does not count as a unit, though also a staple. Thors and Battlecruisers. Thors and like the big robots and the big boy ships. Everything else is just child's play. Vikings, Marines, Hellions, Cyclones. What is this? Why would we bother with these insignificant units? Now, I say that, but neither player has, as of yet, opted for the true units. Oh. He's microing the Cyclone, so it didn't lock on. But pretty nice micro there out of Yoda. Meanwhile, things are coming together for both sides. It appears Yoda is opting for mech. He's building command centers in all parts of his main. If the first command center is any indicator, he's going to head up to the north with this one, which is going to keep his natural pristine and untouched until much later in the game when he actually needs it. That is a next level play. Meanwhile, IamNegan is opting, well, it looks like a bio play. We got +1 armor on the way. Stim being researched. Still a unhappy lack of anything particularly interesting. Oh, but the Widowmine trap. So much micro. That Cyclone's not going to make it home. Tries to escape. Widowmine triggered. Blasted to pieces. But there's more where that came from. Infantry on the low ground. Things are coming together. More Marines coming towards the front. Now, a little bit of an awkward exchange here. There aren't enough Marines out of Yoda, but the Hellion adding some damage in. The boys were pulled. The boys will be killed. Yoda, just the sheer aggression seems to be paying off. A Planetary Fortress is on the way in almost the right location to put this base. By the way, now there's a Banshee. Cloak is not complete. The Marines will drop it forward. Stim technically is complete. The Cyclone did survive this engage. It seems to be escalating to the skies on either side. The Planetary is done. So far, supplies dead even. There is a Raven. Like, what a game. These guys right evenly matched. A Raven to counter the Banshee, but Yoda taking a good engage either way. Targeting down the mules, at least one of them to start. And SCVs are going to be biting it. IamNegan just, well, actually there's 2 factories here. Seems to be struggling now with this Banshee. Unfortunately not building much. The Banshee doing some real work here, but the +1 armor makes it so the SCVs survive 2 Banshee hits, making it that much more difficult. Nice Banshee micro so far from Yoda. Really nice Banshee micro so far from Yoda. He's managed 8 kills. He's not going to make it much further, but the Banshee definitely putting him in an advantage to an extent. All right. That was a very optimistic Hellion. So far, these players, while it hasn't been the most Bronze League Heroes display, it has been quite a display. Evenly matched. Both with very different styles here, but we see them kind of... Oh, here we go. Well, I was starting to criticize, like, why is this match in Bronze? So, Yoda is going to expand to this base, which is a base that exists. And now he's building a fusion core, which of course will unlock the happy ships, the battlecruisers. The flying laser bathtubs of intense micro potential, and by that I mean essentially no micro potential, just big ass battlecruisers. On the other side, building armor is the next upgrade picked up. And that will allow the Planetary to kill dozens more units before it finally goes down, assuming Yoda doesn't have a solution for that. The supplies still relatively even. 2 Banshees heading towards the main. Turrets were not built. In fact, turrets were never completed at any location. The Banshees are in the main. They slow down the armory. The whole army comes back to defend. The SCVs as well. Just to make sure the Banshees know they gotta get the hell out of here. You Banshees, you cut it out. You cut it out, Banshees. Now, there's a Planetary here. Widowmine's doing a whole bunch. The Cyclones are the only thing that can reasonably hope to deal with the Planetary. The Planetary has other thoughts on the matter. The Marines all stim. They will outrun the other Marines and then gun them down after making them feel inadequate about themselves. A Cyclone barely drives faster than a bunch of men on drugs. A battlecruiser and a Thor in the production tab, thus proving the point that eventually all roads lead to battlecruisers and Thors, and everything else is just foreplay. Eventually we have enough foreplay and we get to the Thor play, as one Thor is complete. A sneaky base here doing a great job of not being easily scouted because it is a terrible location to mine from. This, not so much. The other side of the gold minerals. A single tank making things difficult. Cyclone, microed back. Blasted to pieces, though, before it can do much more. A whole bunch of Marines. It looks like Yoda had decided Marines are actually pretty good. The Marines. Now, Planetaries, the real MVPs on both sides so far. 8 kills and counting. The Marines stepping forward. The tank finally getting some shots. A scan comes out. He might be able to kill the Banshee, but the Thor is here, and so are the Marine escort, and even some of the boys. It's unclear who's scanning who. That was Yoda's scan, I believe, which is an interesting choice, but Thors and battlecruisers complete. Planetaries now. We got 6 kills over here. 8 kills over here. Planetaries now at 14 kills in this match. We're going to have to keep tabs on that. 1 Thor and 1 battlecruiser in production as Yoda decided this is almost too much of a stereotype now. A battlecruiser jumped into the main. It won't be jumping out. The Marines are able to take, well, okay, yeah, the Marines just barely able to take it down. SCVs got involved. Another Thor. It's just a Thor and an SCV that somehow is hiding inside of the rocks. Thors actually outrange Planetaries that do not have high-sec auto-tracking. Fun fact. They have 1 more range than them. All he has to do is not micro the Thor, but if the Planetary is not being repaired here, which is a little concerning. We're kind of getting to a situation where we're gonna have to ask, will it burn? The Thor's pounding! What a hero! It burns down! A disaster for IamNegan! And it's gone! Like, did you expect the Thor to actually pull that one off? I did not. But 1 Thor, 1 SCV, and 0 fucks. The Thor just comes. Here comes some Marines. Is that enough? He guns down the SCV. The Marines will be enough. The Thor just kind of disappears, not even giving the Marines the satisfaction of watching it die. 2/6, 1/3 of the rocks have not yet been uncovered from the gold base. As Yoda realized, yes, okay, Yoda, Thor's a hard counter. Meanwhile, a battlecruiser into the vein! Wait, oh, but this time, the Marine, he's gonna drop mules to repair the cruiser! What a play by Yoda! He was off to a rocky start, but now he's pounding through. The Marines coming in. On the ground are Marines and Thors as well. The battlecruiser holding the line. The mules! The mules, though! The repair is too strong. The battlecruiser has more health than the Marines got in here. Oh, the tank's blasting through the Marine group. There is a Thor, which will help. Well, the Marines are going to try to get through this armor. They'll be just good enough. Meanwhile, the battlecruiser is still being repaired. 27 kills so far and counting. Yoda is taking big... Oh, another battlecruiser! It's getting worse! This has inspired IamNegan to build Thors. Realizing Thors and battlecruisers are very good units, learning from each other. The Thors are going forward. The tank's doing a pretty damn good job. The Thor will blast through 1. It has +2 armor, so do the battlecruisers. But both Thors will go down. Things have escalated, but these battlecruisers are still at full HP. Are there enough Marines? There are 20 Marines on the map. That's not enough. There's still a mule. He dropped another mule. The battlecruiser's chewing through 31 kills. The other one's starting to rack them up. 13 more Marines. A Thor comes out. Will that be enough? The +2. He jumps the cruiser into the 3rd base, thus splitting his forces to the extent. Oh, the Thor! 1 HP! What a save! But he split his battle cruisers at the moment of victory. He grasps what could eventually be defeat, because both battle cruisers together were more than enough, but divided and conquered. Meanwhile, the Vikings fly in and decide, you know what, this actually isn't what we wanted to be involved in. More Marines will be filing to their deaths. Vikings on the deck, murdering SCVs, trying to draw things even. The Marines will fight them. Wait, what are the... They have +2 armor, but the Marines have 2-2. The Vikings surprisingly solid in this heads-up fight. The supply is still nearly even as well, as both players do a combination of bio and mech units. 98 to... Oh, the 1 HP Thor! Like, a strongly worded letter would kill this Thor, let alone anything else. I mean, like, low self-esteem, possibly mild allergies. There's a lot of things that will kill this Thor, but so far, Yoda is not one of them. Yoda at 90, it's not even! Now, Yoda has way less army supply because he's built a solid amount of SCVs. It's not like IamNegan has done a terrible job on the SCVs, just lost 44 of them thus far. Meanwhile, the army's moving across the map. They're going to have a little bit of a breather. That is the Medevac Boost cooldown upgrade, which is an interesting upgrade for someone who has no Medevacs, but he is building some more. And now Yoda's ultimate gambit, the I will never take my own natural gamble, may be paying off. A scan. It is a scan. Another battle cruiser is online. And suddenly the Widow Mines. A battle cruiser jumps! What? I jumped somewhere. I heard a battle cruiser jump. Oh, it's in the natural! Okay. Now, what's gonna come back to defend? Apparently nothing. The SCVs are being slaughtered. We're going into a base trade. Thor's getting smashed by Widow Mines. There are Widow Mines in the main by Yoda. Yoda realizing Widow Mines are a pretty good unit. The 1 HP Thor! The 1 HP Thor! Will he scan for the mines? That's going to do a lot of damage. Actually, they hit the Vikings, which is probably best case scenario. The Thor will not... Okay, the Thor finally goes down. This battlecruiser has 22 kills and counting, but the Marines are ransacking the main! They're just going for the SCVs. Yoda has 5,800 minerals in the bank, so I'm not sure how worried he is about his mineral economy, but it's really about the mental damage being done just as much as the physical. The battlecruiser eventually finally dies. A bunch of Marines and a medevac will be ferried in, but the Thor will handle the rest. Battlecruiser at the third. IamNegan has no response. SCVs transferred through a planetary fortress, which, you know, isn't really the most ideal pathing. This Viking really... Oh, can he micro it? More Vikings! He jumped in. He can't jump out. The battlecruiser are actually going to die to the Vikings, including the one that killed the other. This Viking has 2 battlecruiser kills now. The most heroic of Vikings. He got the killing blow on both. Meanwhile, these Widow Mines are still here, and they're not like... Wait, does he have drilling claws? He has drilling claws, which means he requires detection. So a chunk out of production will constantly be whittled down, as this might be the play that makes the difference. A drop in the main! An attack at the third! The planetary will push the Widow Mines away. There's not nearly enough other units to actually fight this. The Marines cleared out of the main. The Widow Mines continuing to take a chunk out of the reinforcements. A single Banshee and that one unlucky Marines. He's gonna drop behind. IamNegan has... Well, here come the Vikings to deal with the Banshee. The drop is beyond the mineral line. Down goes the Banshee. Is there detection for the... Oh, God, the mines hit real hard. The planetary starting to get involved, but it doesn't have range. The Thor is targeted on the planetary, meaning it gets distracted. Another Viking goes down. Meanwhile, the mine's on the other side. The drop has yet to be cleaned up. And everybody just calm down for like 1 second. By the way, can they not see each other underground? That's not how underground works. Oh, the medevac will be microed away. And he'll actually, well, I don't know if he'll escape, but 54 to 41 workers. These players beating the crap out of one another. Nearly even. Well, Yoda has lost 2,500 more gas because he keeps building random starport units. But finally the mines were cleaned up. Yoda maintains a supply lead. He has 6,500 minerals in the bank, but he's desperately trying to spend them. Scans across the board. I'm not sure. Yoda is scanning essentially everything. He's just rapid firing, full auto scans, like a Costco checkout right now. No, oh, he did. Wait, who's scanning who? I don't know anymore. What's happening? I can't tell who's scanning who. They're just all scanning everybody. Meanwhile, the army's moving up. Liberators targeted down, but the planetary's getting involved. I'm not sure if Yoda scanned himself over here, but anyways, the Thor's holding its ground. There are Whittle mines. IamNegan has a whole lot here. Some of the Whittle mines will actually connect, but Yoda's down to 41 supply. He's still got money in the bank. He still has a planetary. Another Thor. Yoda's down to 11 army supply. The tanks are moving into position, but there's still a planetary. The last bastion of Yoda. He's gone all the way back to Dagobah and come out of the swamp with a single Thor. But will you save us, Thor-B-Wan Kenobi? You're our only hope. I know, we're all over the place right now. A battlecruiser starts production. IamNegan starts a fusion core, obviously inspired. The Thor will try its absolute best. Realizes maybe it shouldn't get involved. Pulls back, but the Marines got it down. Some of them taken out in turn. The planetary, this is very optimistic. There's not even any minerals left, but he's got plenty of money to repair. Not that much gas, though. A battlecruiser is building with +3 armor. Yoda's back up to 80 supply. This planetary is more here as a placeholder as opposed to actually increasing income, but if it's gone, then all these units are going to die as well. As we continue forward, more Marines coming across the map. High-sec auto tracking being researched for IamNegan. Our blue oh, the Thor! The Whittle mines, one will burrow. It will connect with the medevac. Yoda putting all his defenses together. The tanks are targeted on the planetary, so they're not getting involved in this fight. The boys have held the line, and the Thor will cross it. He goes to the other side. A battlecruiser has arrived. Yoda looks like he's going to take back the advantage. Yamato, get out of here, Raven. And even more. The Vikings trying their best. Reinforcements from both sides. He stems in. The battlecruiser has +3 armor. These Marines have +3 attack, though. They're doing pretty well. The Thor and the battlecruiser combined. Yoda has taken the supply lead. It's dead. Actually, it's dead even now. Oh my god. How even can it get? Yoda holds. He jumps across. An incredibly bold move for such a bruised cruiser. But he's going for the... Is he hitting the planetary? I can't tell. It's doing no damage. Yes. The answer is yes, he is. He has +0 ship weapons against building armor, so he's kind of just more like he's rearranging some of the decals. The battlecruiser easily taken out. The army coming across, but guess what? There's a planetary over here. Oh, the planetary going to work. 9 kills. How many kills on this one? It's 18, but it's just held so much ground. The Thors. High-sec auto-tracking means the Thors can be hit by the planetary now, which is somehow a very important factor. The Thors, the planetary adding the damage. Yoda, he's trying to get the Banshee in. There's the scan. Gun down. Oh, the Thor. Oh. The planetary wins that duel, but we ought to ask ourselves at the end of the day... Nope, never mind. It's not gonna burn. So far, the unit's lost. Yoda's lost more and a lot more gas, but he's also kind of technically mined more, so there's that. This base is within at least the same county as the mineral fields. Yoda's coming across. Very ambitious for someone who's lost so much. The first 5 minutes of this game were what you might expect. But these players have battled it out now. We're at 25 minutes. The last 20 minutes have tactical jumped right by. Non-stop action, one way or another. The Widow Minefield, Even if he has detection, this is an uncomfortable scenario. Big hit, a lot of damage done. Those medevacs overworked and underpaid. The planetary! It's taking so much damage, even though the barely upgraded Marines are getting blasted to pieces. The planetary falls, and with it the SCVs. Meanwhile, another Widow Mine will splash all over the Marines. Meanwhile, it looks like both players want to expand to this corner. The Marines, well, he's just got Marines for the... Is that an interference matrix on the Thor? He did lose the Raven, but what a play. Meanwhile, another Widow Mine. That one doesn't connect. It might have done a ton of damage across the board. Yoda still struggling to figure out what to actually build. He's really light on the gas, but he's pretty heavy on the command centers. He's got Yoda has 35 workers. At this point, IamNegan has settled on Marines and Medivacs, which is a pretty solid choice. And now is up by 50 supply. Oh, some SCV on SCV action. Getting hot and heavy from the working class all the way to the enlisted men and their big-ass robots. A battlecruiser jumps. I have no idea where it jumped to. Where did it go? To this base! A backstabbing cruiser! A Thor at the back. Widowmine's burrow. They have drilling claws. But is it enough? No. Thor goes down. Battlecruiser ripping through the SCVs, but there's more where that came from, and there are no more planetaries for Yoda. This is still happening. The chase is still on. The SCV has +3 armor, so really it's a very long process. But more Widow Mines. These ones aren't scanned. The army being whittled down, and meanwhile, one more hit. Oh wait, 2 more hits, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the SCV finishes the fight, murders the other SCV. A bunch of Marines working their way into the base. There's not nearly as many as they started with. Will he scan in time? Oh, Widow Mines hit. Banshee doing a lot of damage. It might be enough damage. These Widow Mines are starting to burrow as well. The splash damage. Oh, he has to use another scan. And another. Oh, that Widow Mine is targeted down. The battlecruiser's still intact. The SCV getting involved too. The Banshee finally taken out. IamNegan. Oh, he jumps the battlecruiser from the other side back home to defend. What a play. And Yoda will defend. He holds, but he's finally, after 27 minutes, after getting to 7,000 minerals in the bank, he's now broke. I don't know who's scanning. Yoda is scanning. He now no longer has a bank. Neither side has a bank. Yoda has lost so much. The boys are looking for some golden minerals. Remember, there was at some point a command center here. He's mined so much it's unlocked a wall. Negan is, very set on the Marines at this point. Yoda, will he ever remember his natural? That is an incredible question. One that will be answered by possibly the historians. Maybe not Yoda himself. The philosophers, the many PhD students that study this match. He maintained his principles, even if his principles did not maintain him. Widow Mines connecting, but only hitting SCVs. A Yamato from downtown! And the orbital will burn. A base trade again. They continue. They just refuse to stop base trading. How does this end? There's still a planetary. There's plenty of defenses. Marines versus planetary. A story as old as time. Vikings and a battlecruiser from IamNegan, but only, well, +3 ship weapons and +1. Oh, Widow Mine connects. This is an awkward engagement. Every Marine stims. He's targeting the cruiser. A Widow Mine doesn't find the connection, but there's more mines hiding in the fog. He scans it. So much damage being dealt. Yoda losing almost everything. IamNegan with a +3/+1 battlecruiser, so not that much armor, but what do we have on the ground here? Yoda. Oh, the repair! The boys! Well, they missed the mark a little. Reinforcements are on the way back, but a minefield awaits them. Their home is no longer safe. If the Marines chase, they have to run the gauntlet. 1, 2, another one! Another one! The masterful baits! Oh, the Widow Mines take such a chunk out of the Marine count. He will scan, but still so many Marines left over that will be gunned down. The upgrade's very, very good, so any heads-up engagement is going to be a little easier. Meanwhile, 17 to 43 workers. Mules are dropping. The supplies still disgustingly close to even. Yoda's building. He's long distance. He's got 17 workers. How many command centers? 1 planetary and 2 orbitals against 3 orbitals and a planetary. Very key on that planetary. A Whittle Mine kills a mule. Meanwhile, Yoda will storm the gap. Yoda takes a supply lead. That means his army supply is dramatically higher, but it's mostly in Whittle Mines, which is not a very reliable army composition. One Whittle Mine taking out this one. Okay, that one's going to connect. It actually hits the sky. There's a lot of Vikings here, which not so great in a heads-up engagement. The Whittle Mine's going to try to get underneath the battlecruiser. A stim comes out of Negan. Oh, Whittle Mine's doing a lot of damage. Nearly no Marines for Yoda survive. There needs to be a scan. Did he not realize there's just a bunch of mines? It's a trap. This Whittle Mine might betray the rest. That Whittle Mine unburrows. Oh, try to get a little closer. Oh, there's a Raven. Oh, the Whittle Mine does connect. Another shot. Yoda's almost out of gas, literally and figuratively. He's running out of options. There's a few. Oh my god. He doesn't quite have the positioning. What does he have left? He has Whittle Mines. He's got 3 Vikings. He got 2 Marines. Little does IamNegan know. One battlecruiser might be able to finish this fight. But Yoda has dragged... He floated his main and now has a pristine, perfectly unmined, absolutely perfect, like fully saturated, natural. 30 minutes into the game, he says, finally, we gotta dig deep. We gotta go all the way. And he will mine from his natural base. Will it be enough to save him? Will it bring a light to the darkness he finds himself in? Will it allow him to produce whatever he needs? And I don't know what that would be in this scenario to bring this game back. I don't know. All I know is the patience, the planning. He waited longer than most average games of StarCraft to even consider mining from his natural. And now, after 30 minutes, he makes the call. There's still some Whittle Mines, and they're still finding kills over and over. Yoda, these Whittle Mines, 6 kills. Another one. Bleeding SCVs. 110 workers killed by Yoda, 58 by IamNegan, and neither has a decisive advantage. More battlecruiser. A battlecruiser jumps. Maybe you should have looked before you leaped, as it just kind of jumps to the side. Okay. Meanwhile, Vikings will find a medevac. Still no upgrade. Like, it kills a full medevac of Marines. What? This is going to be a planetary, but Whittle Mine's coming up. Oh. It's going to kill. Oh, wait. Actually, it hurts. Oh, guess what? 2 can play at that game. The Vikings will be intercepted by Vikings. Oh, but a Whittle Mine. The Whittle Mine's getting so much value. The supply is getting dangerously close to even. That natural is absolutely saving the day. Unfortunately for Yoda, his upgrades are suffering so much. He's really leaning on the Whittle Mines, but they haven't let him down yet. Another battlecruiser. The battlecruiser disoriented after finding no targets. Another Whittle Mine hit. The planetary will take out the mines before another shot. The battlecruiser looking for any additional bases. Yoda's back up to 30 workers. The supplies within 6. Oh my god. 8 kills. 7 kills. 5 kills. And then this one is left out. The war of attrition. Yoda looking to outlast. Yoda has taken the supply lead, as these Whittle Mines are bleeding IamNegan out. The long distance mining will eventually have to end. The rest of the army's going to go back. Yoda's going to expand eventually to this top left corner. Another Whittle Mine cleaned up. The mine sweep. Oh my god. Oh my god. 119 SCVs. There's still 42, which is a respectable number. Especially considering we're exploring all the places you could potentially mine. Hyperflight rotors is added to the upgrades that we rarely see, but always love to. The Banshees are in flight. Where did he get 5 Banshees from? Nobody knows. There are 2 Ravens here, so the Banshees could be taken out pretty easily. The lack of ship weapons upgrades really hurts. These Banshees just not doing very great here. This might have been a misstep or misflight. Any units that can move and then potentially shoot seem to be a bit of a struggle for Yoda, as his entire Banshee squadron gets shot down out of the sky. But 109 to 111 supply. We're 35 minutes in and no closer to deciding how this is going to end. Two battle cruisers on the way. What? Are you kidding? Cyclones? We've gone 35 minutes and you come up with Cyclones? Yoda just trying to figure out what units haven't really been built in a serious number yet and giving it a shot. Mag, Field, Accelerator. Very technically, Cyclones a great counter to battle cruisers and Vikings. But that is incredibly... Why are there still SCVs mining from this location? Another important question. That little mine just gets a casual... How does the splash damage hit the air, too? Who knows? That's quite an explosion there. Oh, my God. 10 kills. 10 kills. Like, it's so close. He's so... Like, where are these SCVs even coming from? Why is there, like, an endless supply of SCVs? Questions for the philosophers and the historians. Meanwhile, finally, after, I don't know how, like, double digit, oh no, 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 okay. Oh, it almost got a last parting shot. There's one more Whittle mine. IamNegan being very careful. Well, the parting shot brings the Raven very close to death. Both sides building up to maybe the highest supply we've seen this game. I think maybe 150 is the max. Now it is IamNegan with the battle cruisers, the +3/+2 battle cruisers. These are nearly fully kitted out cruisers here. The Banshees at full speed, hyperflight rotors allows them to move faster than almost anything else. They move almost as fast as a Mutalisk, and they hit way up. I see you. The scan, he's out of there. Not even getting a Yamato cannon started. The Banshee's easily able to react. What a great reaction from Yoda, by the way. Meanwhile, this SCV. So much, like 132 and counting. He's been trying to build... That's a scary army. Oh, that's... Oh, that turret! Oh, watch out! Oh. Yoda, somehow, like, what is Yoda? Yoda has a bunch of Marines now. His Marines have 1/1 upgrades, which, you know, like, isn't that much. Scans. I don't know who's scanning. Is that Yoda scanning? Yes, Yoda's just... Yep. He sees the army, and he said, what do I need? Cyclone, 1/1 Marine, Widow Mine. So, well, both of them have survived to build nearly even army supply. Like, 101 to 109. We've got battle, like, we've got, wow, this didn't even register. Those are upgraded clones, though. They're ripping down units out of the sky. If they're allowed to go to work on the battlecruisers, they'll take them out. But the battlecruisers can Yamato them in turn. There's actually some Vendaya scans across the board. There's actually a very high-level micro component here. Like, there's a lot of potential for both of these armies. These are actually some of the most micro-intensive, like, potential engagements. The Cyclones will lock on. The battle cruisers seemingly not really paying attention. Some of the Cyclones go down. The Liberators baited into the mines. Scans and scans and scans some more. The Cyclones will lock onto the cruisers. They're knocking a couple down. The Marines soaking a lot of the damage, microing back the cruisers, eating big hits, and Widow Mines taking out everything else. Auto turrets on the ground. There's not another set of lock-ons, not yet. The Planetary getting involved, fighting auto turrets, which seems a little incestuous here. But down goes the Planetary finally, but at what cost? As Yoda is chasing down the cruisers. He's down to 2, finally jumps away, abandoning the rest of the fleet. Meanwhile, was that a Banshee? I don't know. Against the Ravens, Yoda, I would say, wins the fight. at the end of the day. But does that, like, what is that? Where does that leave the war? Like, the Cyclones are doing... Oh, he chases the cruisers to the ends of the Earth! But the cruisers aren't terrible against the Cyclones if they get in range. Yoda's doing a great job here. Vikings on the deck. They're not going to be terrible either. Like, this is one of the most even... Liberators show up to the party. The Vikings are shredding the clones on the ground. This... Oh my god. They might kill each other. Oh, a Viking on the ground for Yoda turns the tides. How, like, the SCVs are now vulnerable to the 2 units that survived this entire fight, and they're getting shredded. IamNegan has 3,000 minerals in the bank, just when you think it's over. I don't know what these liberators are doing. A beautiful Venn diagram of freedom in this scenario. Meanwhile, Negan trying to expand, but Yoda's been mining from this base for quite a while. The reinforcements are on the way. 3 liberators, more scans across the board. I don't know what you expect to be there. This is going to go down some of the starports. Meanwhile, Widow Mines. Price and blood. This is unfortunate here. The natural. Yoda's call on the natural. The most 200, like somewhere between 20 and 2,000 IQ. And I'm leaning towards both. The Vikings looking for an opportunity, but those Vikings not going to make it here. He was gonna land them. Well, those very, very scary Vikings, and everybody must clear the area. Evacuation warning. Obviously distracted by something else out on the map. The Marines going to be able to handle the rest, the ones that were left over. Meanwhile, the battlecruiser jumped in, pushing Yoda's base away. This Viking racking up kills. Meanwhile, the army going forward. The battlecruiser gunned down, takes a few units with it. A handful of Marines out on the map. IamNegan. That's not a planetary. There's no, but there's mining from the bottom right. That is a planetary. This Viking is rampaging right now. Are that 2 battlecruisers are in production? I don't know. Like, the Cyclones have made all the difference. The Cyclones are huge. There's still some Liberators, which not incredible in this scenario at all. Like, this is not a great Liberator situation, because Liberators take something resembling Micro. Yoda, the planetary, racking up some kills, knocks out a Viking, looking at a Cyclone. The planetary doing a lot of damage to the reinforcements. Liberators will siege, but will not be sieged for long. They do take out a couple clones, which is very important. The planetary holds, but at the end of the day, will it burn? There's a couple Vikings, still 3 Cyclones in the mix. Doesn't look like he's repairing. Are there Yamato cannons online? He needs to Yamato the clones. The planetary's burning. More Yamatos on the Viking. Liberators all over the place. The Vikings trying their best. The Cyclones gonna take down the Liberator. 1 Viking on the ground is taken out. The Liberator's shut down. IamNegan still has 5,000 minerals, not building any Marines. Still money in the bank, still mining from this side. There's a Widow Mine out here. Yoda has come into the main. The only surviving units are 2 Cyclones, a Marine, and a Viking. Marines are rebuilding. Yoda starting to mine out of his precious natural, his nest egg he kept. There's still a battlecruiser. There's still a battlecruiser on this side of the map. It could potentially jump home. There's still money in the bank. You never know. Another Viking on the ground. How many SCVs have been? 158 to 62. Production facilities being taken out. The battlecruiser's looking for a base trade. Another Liberator's gonna pop out into a world of fire and death. Oh, and it will siege and a tank. What was the last time we saw a siege tank? The Liberator and the tank saved the day. Yoda, he's losing command centers. Another base being targeted. A Viking on the ground. A planetary versus Cyclones. The ultimate duel. The planetary. There's no Micro on the clones. Vikings getting involved, but the Vikings are getting flanked by turrets. Yoda's forces are thinning out. Battlecruisers fighting Vikings. Turrets fighting Vikings. Vikings fighting command centers. Vikings all over the place. It's like that. Is it an HBO series? I don't know which series. Anyways, this orbital command gonna be taken out. 36 to 26 workers. 70 to 51 supply. IamNegan still has 5,000 minerals in the bank. The command center burns. Meanwhile, the Widow Mines are sneaking around the back. The precious last bastion of mining here. Being targeted. The planetary finds one of them. Still some Liberators. The unit count incredibly confusing. The Liberators don't get too close, but the Liberators will take out the Widow Mines in a weird exchange. There is still a battle cruiser. 70 to 53 supply. Meanwhile, the Cyclones will micro this time around. There's also a Viking, by the way. Oh, the battle cruiser takes out one, but gunned down. The Liberator is going to siege, but there is a Viking. Which means, wait, this Viking lifts into the air, meaning it can be hit by a turret that it was previously killing. These units all can technically hit each other, but very technically. Meanwhile, Yoda goes up to the north. Like, there's such a weird exchange that has to happen. Oh, the Planetary hits the Vikings now that they hit the ground, but then they can evade the turrets and potentially hit the Liberator. This Viking going to work. Meanwhile, this doing a lot of damage. There's still a battle cruiser. Negan has money in the bank. 68 supply. The Viking, there's 14 SCVs left. Not that it matters with this mineral count. Meanwhile, these Cyclones will clear up the rest. How many bases are even left? The Cyclones are hitting the command center, which is being repaired slightly more quickly on the other side as the Liberators come to save the day. Meanwhile, this Viking has 11 kills and counting. The Cyclones finally figure out what the problem is. The Liberators will siege up. We'll have to see if they can actually catch the... Oh, he's within liberation range. Oh, you gotta be careful. Oh. He gets around the back. There's more random things building. IamNegan is down to 2 orbital commands, and 1 is about to be targeted. Where are the reinforcements? This battlecruiser has a jump. He jumps. Oh, the locks are used. The battlecruiser might be enough. Is there micro? 1 targeted. The other one. One last one. He's going for the repair. What a save! He saves his last mining base. He's still got money in the bank. There's a battlecruiser and a random assortment variety pack of units. The Marines. And the Cyclones all over the place. Meanwhile, Planetary versus Cyclone battle continues. The Planetary winning so far, but not forever. The Planetary brought low, but it will take at least a couple Cyclones with it. 70 to 49 supply. Meanwhile, Yoda is mostly mined out of his natural. He's got no money in the bank, but he's actually mining, whereas IamNegan with 3,100, 600 in the bank. The army supplies are actually in favor of the Blue Terran. Yoda finds a new base and a whole lot of income. IamNegan is down to 4 SCVs. Oh my, that's less than Brood War. Wait, that's even more. Anyways, 47 minutes and we're within 20. It's unclear because the banks as well, like one significant percentage of the SCVs is moving down here. The army of IamNegan is better, but nothing ever seems to be brought together in time for either side to really lay down a decisive move. The orbital! That's 1/2 of the orbitals that are left! Will it burn? Where's the repair? It's not there. The army's moving. It's not nearly quick enough. The Cyclones will snipe a base. Another Viking on the ground. Down to a singular base. I think this is it. This is the last army. This is the... well, immediately rebuilding the command center. But Widow Mines, inspired how the turntables have turned, DJ Yoda. Widow Mines on both... somehow the armies have started to become almost identical to one another. We've got battle cruisers, Vikings, Widow Mines, Marines. The army... well, wait... the battle cruiser left out in the cold will be taken out. And then, meanwhile, Widow Mines cutting off the base. Yoda has a way bigger army supply, but that's a lot of well-upgraded Marines. There is no Planetary to stop this. Yoda getting whittled down. He still has income, but the battlecruisers hold the line. IamNegan, we're moving forward. Oh, the reinforcements cut off. Widow Mines cutting off a tank. Yoda desperately trying to produce. The battlecruisers holding the line. A tank! There's a tank! He's going for the mining. Yoda retaking the base in the bottom right. It's changed hands several times. Down goes the command center. Yoda struggling. He's still got 38 workers to 7. This base has finished. Yoda, what are you building? He's building Cyclones. There's nothing to protect this. This SCV might give up the whole gambit. Yoda has 49 army supply. He's gonna go for a base trade. Oh my god. There's a non-zero chance we could have a draw. 49 minutes. I don't... The army supply is dangerous enough on both sides. Widowmine's moving forward. There's still one orbital. It's gonna be 2 orbitals to 2. This will bring it back to 1. The reinforcements... The tanks. The tanks. Oh, doing devastating damage, but they're not gonna be... Well... Yoda! Those 2 tanks holding the line. Why are they siege there? Who knows? Oh, the Widowmines will burrow. That will save the day for now. He's trying to... That's... Okay, good luck. The Widowmine's doing a lot of damage. The SCVs of Yoda the Boys are now refugees! Are they a precursor to 2Gs in the future? It's unclear. The Vikings are looking for an opportunity. There's Widowmines all over the place. Yoda is not mining. IamNegan is... Well, 7 SCVs. Meanwhile, there's not much. There's no tanks here. There's a couple Widowmines, maybe. There's nothing on the high ground, really. A few Widowmines taken out. One of the Cyclones. Some damage done. 1 battlecruiser. Oh, 1 battlecruiser! No! Okay, the battlecruiser eventually dies at the cost of every unit. The supplies are even. There's a couple Vikings. They'll be taken out. Yoda is running out of options. The base, the buildings are in flight. One by one. The production, well, there's still Widowmines strewn throughout the map. IamNegan is barely mining. The Cyclones trying their best, but their best is not going to be good enough. Yoda has 6 Widowmines and a Viking. The factories and starports are now in flight, as is the orbital. Yoda, unfortunately, mistakes you have made and minerals you lack. After all of this being 4,000 gas and 2,000 minerals less cost effective. Now, IamNegan does not know everything Yoda has. This army has taken a whole while. I don't know what happened to the Widowmines. There's no actual units here, is the problem. I mean, like, there's Widowmines, but that's it. There's no more Widowmines in the main. There's not much else. Eventually, the armies... Well, there's not much left in the tank. There's still the main base. Another battlecruiser finishes. Every battlecruiser makes things so much more difficult. The Marine count. IamNegan spent most of their bank. Rebuilding. Yoda is going to give it his best shot. He can build more Widowmines. He's building barracks, which were wiped out before. The Widowmines, the base has yet to be explored. Is there any dream? More Widowmines being built. There's not nearly enough. The Widowmine, I think, it's about to come to a dramatic conclusion. Wait, no, the Widowmines didn't. They weren't looking for hidden bases. More Widowmines being built. Vikings, like the very technical counters here. Very, very technical counters. But counters nonetheless. The natural was not enough to save Yoda. A Widowmine will discover... Wait a second! There he is! The last bastion of Yoda has been spotted. That the Marines, they're gonna try. They're not on a move. The Widowmines will burrow. Maximum damage! Vikings on the deck! Yoda's... Well, now he's re-established himself in the corner, but he will not be cornered. The Marines looking for an opportunity. Yoda is supply blocked at 63 over 47, but it's not over yet. A Viking. Somehow. Of course, it's not over yet. On the high ground, a single Widowmine. The rest of the forces, but a Viking on the ground. There's only 10 SCVs, and pretty much all of them are here. I don't know where the Viking's going. Select army, but the boys. The Widowmines are still a real danger. The Viking just... He's shooting at his own barracks, which seems like a bit of a communications breakdown. Another Widowmine will burrow. These Vikings on the ground, trying to help. But there's so much coming in for IamNegan. The Widowmines have so much work to do. The tanks. Oh no, tanks and a Raven. The combination. There's also 2 battle cruisers. But he might be able to take out the tanks in a dramatic turn of events, but at what cost? As that means the Vikings themselves may die. In fact, all but one. All but none. 69 supply, which is not nice enough. So, IamNegan still mining, barely, not producing. The Widow mines, there was another tank built. The minefields on both sides. He's being so careful, so... Like, Yoda trying what he's tried so many times. A base trade-ish. If he can just bait those units into the mines. Oh, the Raven? It's taken a lot of time, but eventually... Oh, wait, the mine will hit the Raven? Not quite. Meanwhile, IamNegan is at 0 SCVs. 0. You don't get much less than that. There's still a little bit of money. Spends all the rest of the money. Can't build any more SCVs. The battlecruiser. The supplies are even. A Widow mine doesn't fire. The Raven's dead. The Raven is dead. The Raven is dead. And now another scan. But how many scans are left? The Widow mines are connecting. The Vikings are fighting. The boys could be bold. A 1 Widow mine burrows. He's fighting the battlecruiser. An orbital is dying. The boys are still on the table. A Widow mine connects, but it also does some damage to the army of IamNegan. It's still dead even in supply. The boys are pulled. The Vikings need to hit the deck for a last stand. The Marines as well. The Marines are doing so much damage. We could be at a draw scenario still if he lifts up. Wait, Yoda! Yoda is still fighting. He drops mules. He's not ready to give it up yet. He might have to. The last group of Marines. Yoda has 1 SCV. Wait. The last boy was killed. Yoda has not rebuilt his base and is being revealed, and at 57 minutes into the match, IamNegan will leave the last. Hooray! Well played, says Yoda. Wait, Yoda has 1 more Widow mine. 1 last chance at revenge. He will burrow it here. Oh my god. I don't know about this one. The last mine. 0 supply. 1 building. I thought you had me. Everybody thought a whole lot of things, and also simultaneously not enough in one of the most epic games of Starcraft of any level I have ever seen in my 10 years of Starcraft 2, in my tens of thousands of games, and hundreds of Bronze League heroes. After 1 hour of their lives spent locked in devastating combat, they shake hands. IamNegan, after 58 minutes, attains victory. Wait, go, Jimmy. Yes. Well, so with 98 Widow mines, 101 SCVs, 4 Medevacs, 20 Banshees, 3 Hellions, 47 Vikings, 46 Cyclones, 5 Liberators, 357 Marines, and 9 battle cruisers for Yoda. A Thor, 13 Widow mines, 199 SCVs, 15 Medevacs, 27 Vikings, a Reaper, 19 Liberators, 6 tanks, 397 Marines, 15 battle cruisers, and 11 Ravens. We have a conclusion. That's how it ends. Thank you, Anthony, for bringing us this to our attention. Thank you to which one of those players sent it in, I don't know. If you enjoyed, of course, like and subscribe, and tell your friends, tell your family, tell your workmates, Tell people on the street. Tell people at a restaurant, at all those other places you go, because whatever they're doing is not going to be nearly as important as watching this match. Like and subscribe and ring the bell and all those things, so we can continue to watch Bronze League Heroes. Thank you.